Hi, welcome to the Property Millionaire Academy. Now, what we're going to do today is show you how to source and negotiate deals from estate agents. Now, most property investors, when you say, oh, we get deals from estate agents, they raise their eyebrows and say, but how do you do that? Estate agents are notoriously difficult to get deals from. I no wonder, they've seen it all before. And I went down the normal route many years ago of walking in off the street to estate agents, put my card down saying, hey, I'm a property investor, and all the rest of it, and got absolutely nowhere. So I had to rethink my approach. I did that, and I came up with a new way of doing things, and it works. From day one of trying it, in the next 7 months, I did 48 lease option deals around the country, and I got them all from estate agents. And most of those from estate agents that I'd already been to before. So I'm going to show you how you can do it. First though, before you even think of calling or going to see anybody, you need to do some preparation. And you need to make sure, in effect, that the estate agent you're going to has actually got the kind of deals that you're interested in. You're wasting your time otherwise. Now, incidentally, the big chains like Taylor's, Countrywide, Hearts, that kind of thing, aren't really good. Their managers don't have the authority to go outside of their set norms and be creative. So it's better to go to small chains, small independents, that kind of thing. You'll have far more success. Now, by preparation, I mean finding out if they've got the deals. Now, you're either going to be looking for BMV deals, below market value deals, or what I call sticky properties that are sitting there and can't sell for one reason or another. And the best way to find these is to go on Rightmove. But wait, before you do that, you need to download the Firefox browser. Download and install your Firefox browser. When that's on, go into Firefox and download Property B. This is an add-on that you use within Firefox. Once you've got Property B installed, you can then open Rightmove, and you'll find that you're now privy to a lot more information than you ever got before. The kind of information that other investors aren't getting, like how long the property's been on the market, how many times it's been reduced, what's it been reduced by, all this kind of thing. Important information. So you can now go into your particular estate agent through Firefox and Property B, and you can find out how many deals they've got that have been there for 4, 5, 6, 7 months or more, sometimes over a year, that aren't selling. And just jot down the address, just very quickly, just the address. That's all you need. Once you've got 2 or 3 of these, you're then ready to move on. Now, I'm assuming you might be going to another town that you don't live in, but you're going to make appointments for 3 or 4 estate agents in one day. Now, the first thing you need to do is call the manager, and basically you're going to get an appointment to see him. Don't go in off the street. It doesn't work. They're too busy. They don't know who you are. They can't be bothered with you. Don't try and do it. You need to call the manager. Now let's imagine he's John Smith of Smith's Estate Agency. You might not know his name is John. A simple way to find out, if he doesn't say on the website, then just call. You'll speak to some girl somewhere and say, excuse me, I need to speak to the manager. Can you tell me what he's called? Who's your manager? What's his name? And they'll tell you, so thank you very much. Next time you call, you need to speak to him. Oh, and incidentally, don't call at certain times. Don't call on a Monday morning. Don't call on a Friday afternoon. Don't call on a Saturday. They're always busy. It's best to call just before or just after lunch. Now, when you call the office, again, somebody will answer, a receptionist, and you need to play it smart. If you say, could I speak to the manager, please? They'll say, what's your name and what's it all about? And you're now starting to tell them the story. They'll call the manager who's not interested, and you'll get, oh, he's not in at the moment, and all that nonsense. So don't do that. When the receptionist answers, say, oh, hi, can you put me through to John, please? It's Peter Hogan here. And she'll say, what's it all about? And say, oh, it's all right, he knows, it's an ongoing thing. And she'll generally put you straight through. I've never had a problem doing that. Now, when the manager answers, you're going to say, oh, Mr. Smith, thank you very much for taking my call. I'm not going to keep you very long. I just want to say that, first of all, my name's Peter Hogan, although obviously you're going to say your name and not mine. And I just want to say that we work with a lot of investors around the country, and we find a way of helping estate agents, much like yourself, get rid of properties that they haven't been able to shift for a while. Is that something you'd be interested in learning more about? Now, at this point, it's basically going to be a yes or a no. And the yes and the no might be, well, no, we don't have any properties that we can't sell. At which point you could say, oh, do you mean you managed to sell 2 High Street, 3 The Grange and 4 Willow Avenue that you had on your website this morning and they haven't sold for some months? Obviously, at that point, he's then going to realise that he's dealing with somebody who's professional. And he's pretty well going to be stuck for words at that point. Don't rub it in. Don't make him look small. Say, if he's struggling to answer that point, say, look, we can help you shift those, Mr. Smith. I'd like to come in and see you. It's only going to take a few minutes. I can pop in and I'll show you how we can get rid of that. And you can make money from those properties within a week where you're struggling to sell them at the moment. Now, isn't that something you'd like to know more about? And generally, he'll say, oh, yes, OK, then. And you'll get in straight away. It's that easy. If he says, if he's more interested in the first place, when you say, you know, who you are, generally what they're going to say is, well, what's it all about? What is it? Words to that effect. Now, you know at some point that question is going to come. One thing you must understand is that you must never, never, never answer questions. If you answer a question like that, it begs another question and you've totally lost control of the negotiation because the control is now changed to him from you. Now, you know that this question is coming, and so you're ready for it. So when he says, well, what's it all about? You simply say, well, it's a bit difficult to explain on the phone, Mr. Smith, and besides, I've got some stuff to give you that you're going to find really, really interesting. Now, I can pop in and see you. It'll only take 2 or 3 minutes. It won't hold you up. When will be convenient? And they'll generally say, oh, OK, Wednesday, 2 o'clock, something like that, because now you've piqued his interest. He knows he's not going to get anything out of you on the phone, and you'll get in to see him. If, and I've never had anybody do this, but if the manager says no, we're not interested, it's nothing we're interested in doing, so that's okay. I'm sorry to disturb you, but I'll tell you what, could I call you again in 3 months, say, just to see if anything's changed? And they will always say, yeah, that's fine, just to get rid of you. Now, when you go and see you're going to get an appointment to see your first manager. Now, when you go and see your manager, you have to be suited and booted. You have to be Mr. Successful. It's no good going in and ripped jeans and trainers. It doesn't work. Nobody, listen, top businessmen, millionaires don't dress like that. They don't walk around like that. You need to be suited and you need to get yourself some decent, a nice shirt. You know, and I don't mean Marks and Spencer's. Get yourself something that stands out. That when people look at it, think, wow, that guy's dressed up properly. Get yourself a fake Rolex. It costs you £100. Get yourself one. You know, just look. Get your hair cut. Make sure your shoes are highly polished. That's the first giveaway of people without money. They don't have clean shoes. I'm not teaching you how to dress here. I'm just saying I see this all the time, and my heart sinks when I see it because, you know, you're going to get nowhere unless you're looking like Mr. Successful. The one thing that impresses other people is successful people. And they want to associate with successful people in the hope that some of that success is going to rub off. And you're the same. Everybody's the same. It's how it is. If you know, Lord Sugar walked into the room, you'd want to be up there with him, chatting to him. No doubt about it. So when you go and see the guy, dressed to the nines. Now, when you go in to see him, don't just give him a business card. You need a little folder with your CV, really, a mini CV, something about you, what you've done, who you are, you know, where you operate, pictures of deals you've done. If you haven't got any deals, call me and I'll help you with deals with that situation. But that is your CV, and I can't do that on here, but I can expand on this later. But you need something impressive to show him. That's not just a business card. A business card will go in the bin. A CV in a mini folder won't. So you're going to see him, walk across the room, leaning forward with your hand out in a straight arm, with your hand out to shake his, all the way across the room, lean forward, looking right into his eyes. It's intimidating for the people you do it to, and he knows straight away that he's dealing with somebody who's confident, and that's important. When you get over there, grab him by the hand, look him straight in the eyes and say, Mr. Smith, thank you very much for seeing me. This won't take a minute. Now sit down. Put your folder in front of you and don't refer to it anymore. If you ask you if you want coffee or anything like that, it's a no. Always say no to drinks, that kind of thing. Now, he's going to say, okay, well, what's it all about? Now you've got your chance to explain. And you say, well, like I said on the phone, Mr. Smith, myself and a group of colleagues, I find a way of managing to move the sticky properties that a lot of estate agents have on their books, so they can't move. Now, this may apply to you, or it may not, but I'm sure. But the reason I'm here is because you said you're interested in knowing about that. Is that the case? Or worse off, you don't have to. It's not word. It's not. You don't have to say every word that I'm saying. You can just play around with these words, but the effect is the same. Just revisit what you said in the first place, that you're there to help him shift sticky properties. Again, if he says, well, we don't really have anything like that, again, you can say, well, what about this one, this one, and this one that you had on your website this morning? Have you sold those and you haven't bothered to take them off the website, or are they still there? If they're still there, I can help you shift them. That's what you want, isn't it? Best thing is, it's not going to cost you anything. You don't have to pay me anything, and it'll make you money, and it'll get the properties off your books. Now, when he says, yes, I'm interested, you're now going to have to, without using the words lease option or scheme, the last thing you want to say, hey, I've got a great scheme called a lease option, you'll lose it. Just say, well, it works like this. But what you'll need to do is introduce me to your clients, to the homeowners, as a business partner. And we need to make an appointment to see them in their own home, and I'll go around and visit them. Now, I'm very happy for you to come along and sit in on this so that you can see that everything I do and say is upfront and ethical. Is that okay with you? Would you like to come along? They generally will say yes. They'll only ever go the first time. They'll never bother after that because they know what it's all about. And they say, okay, but what's it all about? Well, it works like this. Because that property isn't selling, it's obviously because the price is wrong. It's not the right time to sell it. So what we will do, if it's okay with the homeowner, is we will arrange to lease the property for a period of time, which could be anything. Now, during that time, we'll rent the property out. And by the way, we'd like you to be the managing agents for that and take care of all that. That's more income for you that you wouldn't be looking at otherwise. Now, at any point within the lease period, we would have the option to buy it at today's price. Or we can sell it on to another buyer that we find at today's price. Now, obviously, even though we might do the sale, it's still going to go through you and you will still make your commission. So you're not going to lose out anywhere. On the contrary, you're actually going to make more money than if you just did a straight sale today. Do you see that? Now, the beauty about this is that we get to get a property. The sellers get to get the property off their back and enable them to move on with their life, and you get it off your books and make money. Does that sound interesting to you? Great. Well, what we'd like you to do now then is if you could please call one of these people and make an appointment. Let's just call one for now. Make an appointment. We can go around. You can come around with us and you can see how we operate. And hopefully you can join all the other estate agents we've got on our books and help us. We can all make money together. How's that sound? Well, that is about that really, except that, whatever his reaction to all that is, I mean, occasionally you might get someone who says, well, no, I don't, because they don't know about options and they're not really au fait with it. It says, it's not something I'm really comfortable with. I don't know about that. And, you get a few people like that. So, look, that's all right, Mr. Smith. I've got absolutely no problem with that. I do, however, have an appointment shortly with Mr. Green, one of your, the other estate agents in the area, Green's estate agency down the road. I'll tell you what, how about I call you back in 2 or 3 months, see if anything's changed. Would that be okay? Again, he's going to say, yeah, that's fine. So go down and see Mr. Green. Now, when you go in and see Mr. Green and you're walking across the room with your hand out, you can say, Mr. Green, thank you very much for seeing me. This won't take long, and I'll only be with you for a few minutes. Incidentally, I've just come from seeing your Mr. Smith, your colleague up the road at Smith's Estate Agency. He's a smart guy, isn't he? No wonder he's doing so well. He could see exactly what I was talking about. And then sit down. Now, what's Mr. Green going to think? He's going to think, he can't let Mr. Smith get away with it. He needs to know what he's doing. If he went for it, he should go for it. You've pretty well got him at that point. Now, at some point, you're going to do a deal. You're going to do a deal with somebody. Write the deal up and put it into a folder situation. Picture of the property, the financials in it, the ins and outs, the costs, all that, the profit, all the rest of it. And then you go back to see Mr. Smith. and you're not going to, and you're going, when you're going to see him, say, "Oh, Mr. Smith, you remember me? I came to see you 2 or 3 months ago. We've just done our first deal with Mr. Green, your competitor down the road. Would you like to see how much money he's making?" And you hand in the financials. Now, at that point, you know you're going to get Mr. Smith and you'll get deals from him, because you're not going to let Mr. Green get away with making money that he could be making. And that's when I say you will get every estate agent you go and see, provided you do your prep and you make sure they've actually got the deals in the first place. It's very simple, it's very straightforward, and it works like a dream. But you've got to do it like that. There's no shortcuts to this. You start shortcutting and taking little bits off, you're salami slicing your negotiation techniques. Be 100% with everything you do, and you will get lots and lots of deals. I promise you. Go for it.